So I would like to introduce you to one of the other titans of bus in the South Hampshire area. Now, believe it or not, and I don't know if Dave remembers this, that he has presented to this group before.
Yes, I do remember it, yeah.
In 2019, when the world was a very, very different place.
Yeah.
And we all met in Eagle Labs in Southampton, which I think was the last in-person one of these meetings we had before everything changed. And at that point, Dave had just left Southampton City Council to jump ship to City Red. And recently we have welcomed Dave back into the fold. Again, there are very few people who are more vocal about the positives of buses than Dave Garney. And he is always someone who is very insightful and interesting to listen to. And always want to get your opinions on buses is an educational experience every time I speak to you. So Dave is here to talk, as you can tell from his background, about everything that is happening in Southampton at the moment. So I will let you have the floor. I will turn my camera off and let you share your screen.
Yeah, my name is David Garney. I'm Senior Transport Planner for Southampton City Council. I've just recently spent 4.5 years with First Bus as Marketing Manager for the South and South West. But this opportunity to come back to Southampton City Council to head up the Enhanced Partnership and the Bus Service Improvement Plan was a really good one for me. And I'm very passionate about public transport in Southampton, being a Southampton born and bred person. So I'll take you through a few slides just detailing what we're doing in Southampton. Okay, so the Bus Services Act in 2017 encouraged partnerships between local transport authorities and bus operators. There's two methods of doing this. You could go for the Enhanced Partnerships EPs that we've done, or franchising, which is very similar to what Greater Manchester has done under Andy Burnham with the B Network. So that's the franchising model. We decided not to go for that in Southampton. We've gone for the Enhanced Partnership model. So the National Bus Strategy 2021 asked local transport authorities to produce a bus service improvement plan, in brackets BSIP. As I mentioned, Southampton already had a very successful voluntary bus partnership, therefore the EP route was chosen. Enhanced Partnership would deliver the outcomes of the bus service improvement plan, the objective being to present the network as a single system that works together. So the aspirations are for frequent, cheaper, faster, more reliable and grounded buses featuring the latest technological developments. So for the customer, the network would be easy to understand, better integrated with other modes of transport, improvements to bus stop infrastructure, including better waiting facilities and real-time information, and future developments to support the decarbonisation of the bus fleet. And we've mentioned today examples in Solent and with electric buses, and that's very much we're looking to go to in Southampton in the future. So we're also working very closely with Hampshire County Council for services in the wider Southampton travel to work area. So as Jeff kindly mentions, that's routes either 1 and 2 that come into Southampton from a wider area. We've got some very busy corridors in Southampton for people that work in places like Fair Oak, Bishopstoke and East into Southampton, Winchester, Chelmsford. So we need to look at the wider context rather than just Southampton. So the Bus Service Improvement Plan says Southampton City Council was successful in receiving 1.2 million of funding from the DfT for the next 2 years, and this has been used to support local bus services throughout the city, including the areas in Harefield, Thornhill, Shirley and Lords Hill. We're looking at new bus services, including a new route up Hill Lane in Southampton, which up to about 10 years ago did enjoy a regular bus service, but it has become a bit of a bus over recent years. So we look at a brand new bus service that would go towards the General Hospital from Hill Lane through the station, outdoor sports centre. We're also underpinning fare offers such as the £1 even fare, which will continue till 2025. And we've got the group fare offer for £5, which run in the summer, and it's also running now at Christmas from 18th of November through the 1st of January. We're improving information at bus stops. We're promoting and marketing bus travel to specific audiences and occasions as well. So travel to the bus for Christmas shopping, that kind of thing. Travel to the bus for football. We've also just done our BSIP survey to obtain feedback on local bus services. And we've also just started a half-yearly EP forum. We've got a bus passenger charter, which is being shelved by Hampshire County Council. The £2 single fare cap has been extended until December 2024. across the country. And we're really pleased that the Breeze multimodal app has just reached 10,000 users, which is great. It's a really good thing to use. You can buy bus tickets on the app as well, so it's brilliant. So communications and marketing. So the BSIP survey I just mentioned was live from 23rd of October for 3 weeks, and we received a record 3,200 responses. And much of that was due to Blue Star sharing that as well. So they did some promotion with us to make sure that people were confirming the survey. In addition to the council website, there's also on the Blue Star app social media channels to promote that. So we've got quite a few responses to go through, and we're hoping to publish the results on the 1st of December. So we're also working on a Southampton Travel to Work area public transport map, which will be available from January, with printed copies available from council offices, libraries and transport operators. We're doing proactive communications to promote free investments by the city bus operators. And as I mentioned, we're doing a campaign to support the Christmas 5-5 group ticket deal and a £1 evening single fare. So just below are a couple of graphics that have been produced by the team at Go South Coast to promote the two campaigns in association with ourselves. So where can you find out more about our enhanced partnership and our BC? Well, we've got the southampton.gov.uk website. We've got a dedicated page for the BSIP and Enhanced Bus Partnership. It's got minutes for meetings, it's got action plans, it's got donated minutes for the forum that we held last week. So do go to that. We've also got Have Your Say at Southampton City Council. So if you've got any feedback on best services, do that. But also we've got a dedicated public transport inbox. So that's the email address there, public.transport@southampton.co.uk. So do get in touch with our team should you have any questions regarding bus services in Southampton, if you have any good ideas, or if you've got any feedback. So that's it from me. Do you have any questions?
Do I have any questions? We've had a few questions through in there. One of them I think is around those bus routes that are coming into the city from Hampshire. How is that collaboration working, and where is the best place to go for information about those routes that are cross-border? Because I know Jeff talked about some improved maps, but how is it looking from the city's perspective?
Something I'm working on with Jeff's team. We're doing bus route investment plans. So we're looking at the interurban routes which come into Southampton in granular detail, working with the operators to produce a set of costed interventions, how we can improve the experience for people coming into Southampton and back out. So it could be in terms of better real-time information at stops, it could be better infrastructure, it could be highways improvements like selective vehicle detection at traffic lights to make sure that the buses route into Southampton as quick as possible. Southampton, by nature, with river crossings, is a challenging city to get around, certainly for public transport. And Southampton did used to enjoy a lot of cross-city services, but these have ebbed and flowed over years because of congestion on the east could affect congestion on the west, and having a river crossing doesn't really help with that. So these bus route investment plans will look at that, and we'll look at how we can improve the experience for the next 20 years for people coming into Southampton, which very much aligns with our connected 2040 public transport strategy.
Excellent. Here's a really soft one for you. This has come from Trevor, based over in Portsmouth. Does Southampton have a park and ride service?
Okay, not at the moment. That's something we're looking at. There's a new facility at Adneck Park which has been developed by UHR Southampton for staff car parking, but there is a propensity to test the park and ride service at weekends from the Adneck Park site into the city centre. It is part of our connected 2040 strategy. It's a challenging one in Southampton because it's not a 360 city, because you've got river access from the south. If you're going to look at an effective park and ride proposition, you really need to have 3 sites around the city, because you can't really expect people to travel from the east, from Fareham, Gosport, all the way around the M27 to Adneck Park, and likewise from the north and from the west. So it's a bit difficult for Southampton because it's got 3 access points from the west, north and east, but it's something we're very much looking into, and we're hoping that the Adneck Park trial may give us some indication of whether it could be working for Southampton. I mean, the city has experienced park and ride before football days. Buses used to run in from Bursden to the St Mary's in the Dale before that for football matches. So we've got some experience, but that's something we're very much working towards as part of our strategy.
That's it. And speaking of buses and football, we've had a question from Terry. What is the current plan with providing buses for football fans travelling to St Mary's?
Yeah, so there is services at the moment provided by a company called CES, Contract Event Services, and they run from the north side at the moment, but when the south side reopens in December, you'll be able to catch the bus from there to St Mary's. There's not many buses at the moment, granted, but again, we're working with the football club to try and improve public transport provision to and from St Mary's Stadium. The bus operators are involved as well. Whereas quite a few bus services that do travel towards St Mary's through Chapel, through Northern Rome, but the awareness isn't quite there with football fans. St Mary's is only a 10-minute walk from West Quay. It's not too far away from the city centre. So more can be done to promote existing bus services towards St Mary's, but there are match day shuttle services in place at the moment, but we could do more.
And speaking of Central Station in Southampton, how far off those works being finished are we, and what kind of services can people expect on the south side of the station?
Okay, so the new facility will be opening in December. So works are finalising at the moment. I popped down there myself the other day. It's looking close to completion. There's a really wonderful Art Deco looking passenger facility that's being built where the bus stop will be. Very much in line with the cruise theme and also the same kind of design as the Art Deco features of the railway station. So it's something to look out for. In terms of bus services, where I mentioned the CES service is going back in there, the Unilink service U6 is going back in there, and potentially one other route as well, the Key Cadet. So that's the routes that are going back in there from December when it opens.
Now, both Erica in Portsmouth and Jeff in Hampshire talked about electric buses. Are there any plans to electrify the fleet in Southampton?
Okay, we are looking at putting in a Zebra 2 bid for 15th of December. We are working with operators in the Southampton area to look at what we can do for that. So one challenge is being infrastructure in Southampton. There's not enough power available in Southampton compared to the Gosport Peninsula. So that's posing a bit of a challenge with us, but we are looking into how we can accommodate electric buses in Southampton in the near future. But yeah, a Zebra 2 bid will be submitted by the 15th of December timeline.
Excellent. And I had this question on my list anyway, but Ray has asked it eloquently and at length. The combination of cycles and buses. Are there any plans to have a kind of citywide policy on things like allowing folding cycles on buses, or to have cycle racks on board or on the front of buses?
There's no plans to do that at the moment, and operators have trailed carrying cycles on buses. I remember Steve Hobbs will know this. The New Forest Tour for a number of years carried a cycle facility on the back of the bus, plus a trailer that contained cycles at the back of the bus. At the moment, access for wheelchairs, folding cycles, that kind of thing is very much a driver discretion on board the vehicle. So obviously the driver's got to make sure that the gangway is free of any obstructions for health and safety. But accessibility is very much on the bus operators and the manufacturer's radar. Certainly the newer generations of buses that are starting to come onto in stream there, and certainly if we mention the B network in Manchester, there has been some improvements in terms of access for wheelchairs and buggies in their latest fleet of buses, and that's no doubt something that will probably filter down around the country as manufacturers cost that into the vehicle production process and operators find that sellable when they're purchasing new buses. But certainly that's something that's it's not ignored, but it's there's quite a few aspects that need to be looked into in terms of carrying ancillary vehicles on buses.
Yeah. And in terms of accessibility, I mean, you've talked about wheelchair access and things like that. Are there any developments that you've got in train at the moment to make the bus network accessible to a wider variety of people, particularly around things like kind of sensory issues and kind of non-physical disabilities that people have.
Yeah, very much so. So obviously we need to cater for all demographics, and we do have the accessibility forum in Southampton, which a colleague of mine chairs, and we've been passing very good suggestions, which we are talking to the bus operators about. And it's not just about the buses itself; it's about the waiting facilities. We've done some work on lowering the timetable cases at bus stops, because it was felt that sometimes the bus stop information cases are too high up for people in wheelchairs. So we've done some work. I know Hampshire have done the same to lower some of these cases to make sure that they are accessible. So it's things like that. It's tactical measures that can make it easier for the less able to access public transport services in the city. So, yeah, it's an ongoing thing.
Brilliant. And finally, like I've said with everyone else, if people would like to know more about what's happening with buses in Hampshire or have particular questions, where is the best place to address those questions?
Yeah, so the public.transport@southampton.gov.uk email address that was on my presentation. If I send around the slides, people can just click on the PowerPoint.
Could you stick that in the chat for us?
Of course I can.
Got it just now. That would be ace. Thank you very much for coming, Dave. You've been an absolute star as ever. Hang on.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, sorry. This is going back to buses. Essentially, it's a statement that park and ride and free bus travel on the day would really help, given the amount of congestion that match days cause. I think it feels like Terry is broadly in agreement with you, and is positive about there being more stuff, and of course the pollution. But yeah, and on that question, Terry, it's probably worth knowing, and if you get in touch with us, we have a weekly travel bulletin. So there is a group in Southampton that meets to look at potential congestion issues over the next weekend, month or so, whether it's football matches, whether it's roadworks, whether it's a panoply of cruise ships coming in. So we do have that. But if you give workplaces@myjourneyhampshire.com a shout, we have a weekly bulletin that goes out that can give you and your staff a heads up on things that are happening over the weekend to come, to try to kind of flag people towards easier and better ways of getting into the city when there are pressures on the road network. I will let you actually go this time, Dave. I think we're all done. Super. I'm really glad you've been able to come and join us, and I will see you soon.
You're welcome. Cheers, Andy.